Welcome to Meet the Author, where you can join in on insightful conversations with best-selling and award-winning indie published authors. Your hosts today are Rob and Joan, who themselves are indie published authors, book publicists, and paranormal investigators with Tampa Bay Spirits, based in Tampa Bay, Florida. Thanks for dropping by. And now, on with the show.
Good evening, I'm Rob.
And I'm Joan, and we're really glad that you're here tonight, whether you're watching us live or watching us later on, or just listening to us on the audio podcast. We're really glad you decided to be in the audience. Joe Conjol says, good evening, Rob and Joan. Good
Hello,
evening, Joe. And Celebrity Interviews with Neil says, hi, Rob and Joan. Hello, Neil.
Hello, Neil.
Glad to have you in the audience. CW's Book World said, howdy, Rob and Joan. Good to see you.
CW.
I would say good to see you too, CW, but I can't see you. But if I could, it would be good.
There you go.
Marjorie Deering says, hi, back for more. Yeah,
Hey, Marjorie.
It's going to be fun.
Well, I want to remind everybody tomorrow night at 7:30, Haunted Campfire Tales are going to be on Tampa Bay Spirits Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. You'll be able to see it there, and also on our LinkedIn, I believe.
And WLFA, DB, and
yeah.
their YouTube and their Facebook page.
Also Thursday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, WDJY.com. You can listen to our show there, replays of our show, or if you're in the area of North Georgia, Atlanta, 99.1 FM is where you can listen to that. Also Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. episode rewind. We're rewinding all the old ones, and you don't have to lift a finger, just click and turn it on. Next Wednesday, we're going to have UK author Guy Robin on, and he's quite an interesting, nice young man. Not young, but
not young.
Not young, but
not real old either.
I'd like to say
younger than us.
There you go.
He's retired to France.
Yeah.
He was a policeman in England, and he was one of the guys that carried guns. So it's really a fascinating interview. I think you guys will love him. He's really great.
I want to remind everybody about the San Leon book signing blowout this coming Saturday. It's finally here. Noon until 4 p.m.
Hey.
Pier 6 Seafood Restaurant. You don't want to miss that place. That's a beautiful restaurant. Very well run, great food, and it's just a beautiful place. Plus, you get to see a whole bunch of authors, more than 20 authors, I believe, going to be there. The weather's going to be a little windy, but that's okay. Just hold on to your hat. That's all you got to do. And glasses. Also, want to tell you about Magnolia Bluff Crime Chronicles. All the books right now are on sale. Even ours, Chance of a Ghost, brand new book.
CW his new one is out.
That's right. CW is every one of them. Every one of them is on sale.
At
least one of them is free.
On sale too.
Yeah. Cindy Davis's book is her entry, and one of her entries in Magnolia Bluff is free to download. So go over there. It's until the 28th, I think, or the night of the 27th, through the 27th anyway. And then we want to give a shout out to our friends at the KOA campground up in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. That's Jane and Jenny, both. You were a big help to us today. We really appreciate it. We highly recommend KOA.
Especially the one in Fond du Lac,
especially Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and we can't wait to see you in August.
They put up with a lot of our shenanigans
today. They sure did.
Somebody may or may not have kept changing his or her idea.
Not sure who.
On where they wanted to stay and for how long.
Hi,
Paul says, hi, everyone. Evening, Rob and Joan. Hi, Paul. We're glad that you're here.
Well,
oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about all.
I think we've run the gamut here.
I do too.
It's been a nice show. Oh, no, we got to have our guest. Would you like to introduce our guest?
Yes. We really want to, without further ado, to bring on Michael Sanchez. I think you're really going to enjoy him. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
We're doing great. How are you doing this evening?
Well, I'm doing fine. I'm sitting here in my office here in beautiful South Carolina, Clemson, South Carolina. It's beautiful over here. Been expecting rain all day, but I never got there. So it's been nice, a little breezy, but it's okay.
The only problem with that is no rain. You have to go out and water the yard, water
That's the thing. And this pollen isn't helping much, so I'm trying to avoid it the best I can.
Oh, boy, it's awful. I'm telling you. I feel your pain. So would you like to tell us why you decided to start writing and, how that all came about?
Well, I've had ideas for many years. One story I had in my mind for over 35 years. And eventually I ended up writing the story. But again, it took me about 35 years, and it didn't happen until I finished college. I was figured that since I could write a 20-page paper on some exam or whatnot, or some topic that they wanted me to concentrate on, I was like, well, if I could do that, then I can write a book. So I took that chance and wrote the story that was on my head for so many years, and went from there.
And was that your first book?
Yes, it's Vine Street.
Vine Street.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I really love
cool
that cover so much.
Yes. As soon as I saw it from the publisher, I was like, oh wow, it's perfect, because I've always been fascinated with Sherlock Holmes and especially the movies from what's his name? From Alfred Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, I love his stories, his movies. Love them. And Hammer films. All those great movies from way back in the day. And I was like, that's it. That's exactly what I've been looking for.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like the raven sitting on his shoulder.
Yes, and it means something. I found that it meant something. Of course, the full moon to me meant that you're living in a dream. Is it a dream? Is it a nightmare? Of course, the bird on his shoulder, a crow or a raven, that could mean something bad, evil. And then the silhouette of someone, or maybe something. You don't know what that is. It's secret. You just don't see it. So that to me meant a lot. So it was perfect for the story that I chose.
George Dismuke says, I'm here a little late, sorry, but still beautiful. I'm glad you and your beautiful self are here. Say hello to Nadine and the doggies. Joe Conjal said the cover has a creepy Poe vibe. Very cool. Edgar Allan Poe vibe. Very cool.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have a book that Edgar Allan Poe and all his great stories sitting next to my nightstand, and I have it there all the time. And something for one reason or another, for the last time, I tap on it twice every night. And my wife says, why are you doing that? I was like, you know what? I don't know. Maybe it inspires me. Maybe it gives me some dreams or whatnot. It helps me to write, It's weird. But yeah, I've always been fascinated with Edgar Allan Poe.
CW says, I like tweeting that cover. It's neat. Yeah, that's right up your alley, CW. It is really, really cool. Of course, you know, Tampa Bay Spirits, that's our logo, is a raven sitting on a branch. Yeah. So I like it. I really like it. So
ravens are very smart. Those pros, the ravens are very, very intelligent birds. So
yeah. And the one of our daughters lives in California, and she befriended some crows where she works. Okay. And she would feed them, she'd bring them in nuts and stuff, and so they always wait for her. And she lives in Orange County in Mission Viejo, and they found her there from where she works. Is that not crazy? They flew to her house and were sitting on her balcony out back. She said, okay, this is odd, but they'll be there for her at work and then there for her at home. They're really brilliant birds.
Interesting. And I think I've always been fascinated with those birds, especially as a kid. I watched the movie The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Right. And I still love that movie to the day. And it's just fascinated with those birds. Even though, they were causing havoc, but ever since then, I've always been fascinated with them. And of course, the Raven, the story The Raven from Edgar Allan Poe, fascinating as well.
Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about Vine Street? Tell us what it's about a little bit without giving anything away.
Sure. The story takes place in South Jersey. Of course, I am from South Jersey, but it has nothing to do with me. But anyway, so it takes place in the summer of 1978. It's almost like people say it reminds them of a Stand By Me kind of vibe to it. But it's, it takes place in the summer of 78. It involves a young boy. He's about maybe 10, 11 years old, just after he gets out of school for summer. And what it is, he gets involved into things or sees things that, either gets him into trouble or gets someone into trouble. However, the story, it starts good in nature, and very nice, more family oriented to it, but then it starts to change. I guess in the middle of the story, it starts getting darker, and you have to realize, hence the cover, is it all a dream or is it really happening?
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Is he dreaming this or is it really happening?
And so you have to figure it out, right?
You have to figure it out. Yes, exactly. I mean, is he just, boys, especially at that age, they have an imagination.
That's great.
Yeah, they have a great imagination. So, and sometimes, you're out of daydreaming or whatnot. So again, is he seeing this in his sleep, or is he wide awake, and daydreaming about it? So yeah, that's what it's about. Pretty interesting.
George Dismuke said, I sold ravens to Hitchcock for the movie, which we trapped at the garbage dump in Laredo.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy. And Marjorie Deering said, so calling someone a bird brain could be a compliment.
Yeah, yeah, right.
If the bird you were referring to was a crow.
There you go.
Yeah. That's cool, George, that you sold ravens to Hitchcock for the birds.
Yeah, that is cool, right? Who can say that, right? Hey, I sold ravens to Alfred Hitchcock. That is awesome.
George was a wrangler of all kinds of animals, even for the movie Hatari and everything. He's been everywhere, yes, and done everything. Here we go. Somber Town. This is your next one. And tell us a little bit about this one, where it takes place, and a little bit about
that one. Of course, most of my stories come from my dreams. However, this one, I've never been in North Carolina ever, and we had just moved there, my wife and I. She's originally from there, and you know, I'm a Northern boy. I'm a Jersey boy. I don't know anything about North Carolina. Like, what am I doing here? But anyway, uh, got to see some of the areas there, the locations, and I was fascinated with the people, with the areas, and some of the country folks there and the small towns. I found it interesting, very different, and it inspired me to, I guess, to write this story. But again, most of it I saw in my dreams. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write about this, and it's a small town, just like any of the small towns. It takes place in the East Coast of North Carolina, Peaks Point, North Carolina. Of course, this is fictional, and you got people there who knows everybody. All small towns, everybody knows everybody. Um, Everybody talks about everybody. Of course, when you see a stranger, like, oh my God, who's this? You know what I mean? Chatter, a lot of chatter. You got politics. You know, everyone's trying to outdo everybody in politics. Of course, you got your small town police department, maybe a sheriff or and his deputy. That's about it. And but what important is that what do all small towns have in common? And of course, again, everybody knows everybody, but all small towns have secrets. All small towns have secrets, and this one has secrets as well. But with a little twist to it. So, and so I find it fascinating. Yeah.
Okay, so Somber Town has its secrets that need to be revealed. And
Yes.
then you have Vine Street. We have that same fellow with the crow or the raven. What
Yes,
lies
yes.
on the rooftops? So
Yes.
give us a little about what this is
That
about.
one, again, that one, a young boy, of course, he's a year older. But again, it's another summer, and of course, more other things takes place during the summer, and he sees a lot more, and a lot more people are involved. A lot of more things are happening here. The stories are starting to evolve now on this, and it's much darker than the original book. And again, you have to decipher: is it real? Is it all a dream?
And
And
whatever it is that lies on the rooftops, I assume.
yes, you have a few unsavory characters in this story, and are they after this young boy or others involved in this city in South Jersey? And it's interesting. I really enjoyed writing that story.
And so those three, they kind of go together: Vine Street, Somber Town, and Vine Street Rooftops.
No. The two Vine Street books, of course, that takes place in South Jersey. That's those two go together, and Somber Town is totally different.
Oh, that's right. It's in North Carolina. And
Yes.
then this is your latest one, the Stevedores.
The Stevedores, yes. What lies they tell. And as a matter of fact, that I once worked at a shipyard, and a couple guys from the union asked me. They found out that I was a writer, and I had just finished publishing Vine Street. And they found that out. They said, "Oh, you're a writer." I was like, "Yeah. It's I just finished writing a book, finished publishing a book. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be writing anything else at that time." And they're like, "Well, how would you like to write something about us?" And I'm like, "I'm thinking about you guys." I'm like, "I don't know what to write about you guys. I don't know you guys. We just work here." And well, maybe we'll give you a couple ideas and whatnot. And I was like, "Well, you got a title for it?" And of course, yeah. How about what lies they tell? Oh, like, that's interesting. And of course, a lot of the ideas came again from dreams that I had about this story, and so I took it on, and I enjoyed writing that one as well.
All right, we've got another comment. Let me see. Joe Conjal. Hi, Michael. Who does your covers? Love them.
Author House. Author House did the Vine Street cover and the Somber Town cover. Palmetto Publishing did the second Vine Street book. Palmetto Publishing here located here in South Carolina. And the Stevedores was published by Royal House Publishing. I really like that cover right there. Found it mysterious, something bad is happening in there in that cover. Something's not good.
No doubt about it.
The man in the shadows holding the light. It's time to take
shadow. More it's got that like investigative vibe to it,
Yes, it does. He's in there with the flashlight.
Well, it's time for us to take our first break. And
believe it or not,
when we come back, Michael's going to read for us out of Somber Town.
Yeah.
So don't go away, folks. Got a lot more to talk about.
It's every parent's worst nightmare. Police officer Madison Jackson awakes to discover her baby kidnapped from her crib. Was it revenge for someone she arrested or something far more sinister? Madison's estranged husband is incarcerated in Supermax. As the second in command of a deadly Mexican cartel, did he issue the order to abduct their daughter? Bye, Baby, Bye, from author Kelly Marshall. Get your copy today.
Many secrets are hidden within the darkness of the jungle. Now comes part 4 in the Jaguar series by retired Hollywood scriptwriter George Dismukes. In this saga, Brandon, Andrea, and Naja, the Black Jaguar, go deep into the Mato Grosso jungle on a mission to rescue 2 kidnapped children. During their journey, they encounter many dangers, including Yanomami Indians, bent on revenge for the murder of one of their warriors.
Return of the Jaguar is book 4 in the Jaguar series, starting with 2 faces of the Jaguar, the Lost City, and the Jaguar's Quest. All 4 are available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other bookseller websites worldwide. Return of the Jaguar is a must-read.
Profiteers are preying on displaced souls who seek freedom, sacrificing everything. Wanting to give their children hope and a future, but they wrongly trust on a roll of loaded dice. Teens are picked off and sold into slavery. Cartels offer the choice to strong young men to move illegal drugs over the border or die. The R Group and CATS team leaders want to end Mateo's inhuman business model. The heroes must derail the human exploitation and opioid epidemic, killing people in increasingly dramatic numbers. If they can save even a few from the jaws of death, they win. The present-day battle is in full swing, yet it can end badly for humanity unless the Enigma heirs triumph. Who will survive the onslaught, and how fast can they make Mateo pay?
We're back, and we have a couple of comments here. George wanted to say, book signing going forward on Saturday, despite strong winds, no guts, no glory. Yeah, we told everybody that at the beginning. We told them, just come and hold on to your hats and glasses.
Hold on to your hats, yep.
Joe Conjul says, when you say your story ideas come to you in your dreams, what do you mean? Just a germ of an idea or something more fully formed?
Well, it's interesting. A lot of the ideas that come from, as a matter of fact, I can have that ability to go back into my dreams and relive them. And I don't know if it's at will or whatnot, but somehow I'm able to go back and I get those ideas for my stories from those dreams. The thing is that the dream changes. It's constantly changing. So it gives you even more ideas, different avenues, if you will. So you either can go this way, that way, any which way you go. But It's amazing how I'm able to do that. But of course, the story never finishes in your dream. You never get to finish it. So it's up to you to decide how far you want to go with it.
Right. Right. So you want to read now, and then after Michael reads, I'm going to tell you how to get in touch with him and all that kind of good stuff.
All right. This is from Somber Town. Okay, Somber Town, North Carolina's beautiful landscape commanded one's attention, and its inhabitants enjoyed their way of life, where family came first. But there were exceptions. The shoreline were breathtaking during the summer months, but the winter months could be brutal, both at the coast and inland. The mountains were particularly full of life and wonder, where people could come and explore the wildlife and enjoy the stunning scenery. It sounded like the ideal place to live and raise a family, or just to visit when one heard the call of adventure. The town of Peaks Point, North Carolina, provided a little bit of everything, along with its population of 800 residents. Peaks Point was so near to the shoreline one could smell the scent of salt water in the air. It was a quiet town where everyone seemed to know everyone, and everyone appeared to mind everyone else's business. So, when strangers came to town, the word was spread like wildfire. I guess it was typical for a small town, but that was the way things were. Or at least that was the way it appeared to be. Quiet. It was August of 1977 and the summer was winding down. The town's primary source of revenue came from the tourists who packed the local bed and breakfast at the only cafe. And another source of revenue were the merchants who would sell miniature versions of the town's city hall building and of the light tower that attracted many sightseers, as well as other novelty items. Some merchants also earned a living selling shellfish. Yes, it was indeed a wonderful place to visit if you liked that sort of environment. The town's sheriff practically ran the local police department by himself and had a part-time deputy to help with the community affairs when needed. There was not much going on, so it made his job easy. Seldom did he have much paperwork to deal with, except from time to time when the locals had nothing better to do but to complain about anything and everything. I guess that's the only way to get the sheriff's attention with so much downtime. Right? The politicians were the local barber, fire chief, hairdresser, a retired school teacher, and a retired surgeon who was now the town's mayor. These politicians had it made, but were respected in the community, and so it allowed them to represent the community even if each of them had their own specific agenda. The town appeared to have a disposition of a community that loved and cared for one another and watched everyone's well-being and property, or so it may appear. Everyone appeared to have a good time. People enjoyed their picnics at the town park, and the smell of barbecue covered every corner. Kids were running around enjoying a variety of recreational activities, while everyone else did their thing. Walked their dog, rode their bicycle, played chess, etc. It appeared that everything was going well. Even the weather was perfect. It painted a pretty picture that you could place on a poster.
Yeah. Well, that sounds interesting. So let me ask you this. What genre would you say that your books are?
I like to focus more suspense thriller, a little mystery as well. Some might have horror depending who the reader is, you know. But I like to focus more on suspense thriller.
Yeah, we've got it. Paul Hollis says that was a great read.
Thank you.
Yeah. So do we have murders in those towns?
If you don't mind me saying, I read this once to my mother and in South Jersey, and read it to her, and she was like, "So when did you ever meet these people? When did you ever meet them?" I'm like, "No, Mom, they're not real. They're fictional." "No, you've had to have been there. You had to talk to these people." Like, "Oh,
wow, that's a compliment."
Yes, it is. You know, she had no idea that I was writing. That I was a writer. She had no clue. She just thought that I really met these people.
And that you were writing what you observed.
Yeah. She was like, you've had to talk to them because they're so detailed. Like, no, Mom, this is all from my dreams. She was like, no, no. And she's still, and even to this day, she's still convinced that I've been there, that I have talked to these people.
Well, did you read any of the thriller suspense parts to her?
No, I haven't had that opportunity because she lives in New Jersey, and I've been in Florida and here in South Carolina and North Carolina. So it takes time to drive from here to there. So I haven't had that opportunity. But one day I would like to go back and read another story for her. She's fascinated. She'll be fascinated.
Yeah, she might know then that it wasn't real. Marjorie Deering said that was a high compliment that you made them real to her. So real to her. Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I was. It surprised me when she said that. I was like, "No, Mom." I had to tell her a couple times because she really thought it was. She was so convinced that after I read it to her that she says just so many details about the characters because I went deeper into the story and she was like, you've had to been there at one time or other. No, they're not real. They're all fictional.
Joe Conjal said, Michael, are you a plotter or a pantser?
I say maybe a plotter.
A plotter follows an outline.
No. I'm a pantser. Let's go there. No outlines here. I just write.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yes.
Robert White says, hi, all. Robert lives in Australia. He's there right now. How are you doing, Robert? Thanks for dropping by.
He's talking to us from the future.
From the future, yeah. It's Thursday in Australia
Thursday
already.
There.
Wow, that's fascinating. Yes.
I know, isn't it?
Is.
Yeah, well, that's what we all want is for everyone to see our characters as real because they're real to us, you know.
Yes, they once you build that character, they're alive. They're real to me. They're real.
Yeah.
And I want them to convince people. Yeah, they do exist. They exist to me. Once you put them down on paper, they're there. They're alive. They have their own life, their own thing, and it's fascinating. And I'm glad I've created some of these characters that I'll never forget. And some people that have read the books and they're like, wow, I'm having dreams about this thing or that person or whatnot. I'm like, well, that's good. And it had the effect that I was looking for.
Exactly. You want people to feel, you know, to laugh and to cry and to, you know, be afraid.
Be involved in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And wonder who done it.
So, Michael, it took you 35 years to write your first book. Obviously, it didn't take you 35 years to write the
your
other
second.
One.
Yeah.
About how long does it take you?
Well, it's a matter of fact. This one reminded more of a Stephen King thing. You know, I think was it Carrie or where he had written it, but he wasn't happy with it, and he ended up throwing it in the trash. I think it was Carrie. I'm not sure. Pet Cemetery. One of the other. Anyway, I wasn't. I don't know if I wasn't happy or just I felt that the story was not going to get anywhere. And my wife, so I threw out the manuscript, believe it or not.
Which one is this now? Your first one?
On Vine Street, yes. And my wife was like, of course she found it, and of course she picked it up, put it on the desk, and she told me, "What are you doing? This is a great story. You're going to publish it. Just publish it, and let's see what happens with it." I'm like, I don't know. But I'm glad that she did. I'm glad that she pushed me to do it, and you know, we'll see what happens. And I'm glad I did. And after that, that one was published in 2018. Even though it sat for 4 years. Matter of fact, I finished writing it in 2014, but again, I wasn't sure if I was going to publish it or whatnot. So it took a while. It took a lot of convincing. And at the time, I was attending college and doing other things, so I was busy. But then when the time was right, my wife, came to the point where I said, "You need to publish this book, and let's just do it and go from there." And so that was in 2018, and then I ended up writing Somber Town, and that one was published in 2020. Then came Vine Street, what lies on the rooftops. That was published in 2022. And then the Stevedores last year, in December of last year. So
okay, so you're speeding up then.
About 2 years or so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Marjorie Deering says, yes, that was Carrie. His wife pulled it out of the trash can and encouraged him to pursue it.
Yes, and I didn't know that until I read more into Stephen King, bio and whatnot, and I was like, wow, I didn't know he did that. And thank goodness his wife pulls that out. I was like, look what it did to him. His career just went off.
Yeah.
With Carrie, and I love that. That's one of my favorites. Carrie, love that story.
Robert White says, on the subject of characters being real to the writer, do any of you go about holding funerals, even if it's just in your head, for the characters that pass away in the novels?
That's a good one. No, I haven't had that. No. No, I haven't had that. That's a great question. No, that's interesting. No.
One of our characters had a funeral 100 years after his death, but he finally had a funeral.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. No, I haven't. It hasn't gone to that point as of yet. So maybe, I don't know. That's a good question.
Joe Conjal said, I find it hard to hold a funeral for a character that I killed off.
There you go.
You're not going to feel sorry for them. There's a reason why you killed off that character. You don't want to think about it later. It's over with.
Well, Joe, though, I don't feel like I killed the character off. I feel like that dang antagonist killed the character off.
Yes, the antagonist did. Exactly.
I love my character that we had a funeral for, and I cried.
Yeah, there's one character that in one of my books that I was happy to finally get rid of him. It was a pleasure to get rid of him. Yes, I didn't feel no sympathy for him.
Now, Marjorie said something really interesting. Yeah. She said, "I don't do funerals, but I wrote a dedication to my Ray Schiller character in the final book of the series." That's really neat, Marjorie.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That you wrote a dedication to your. I love that to her character.
Well, he worked awfully hard throughout the series,
And CW said, "Yeah, I'm just the amanuensis. You're just the one telling the story. You didn't kill him."
It wasn't me.
It really wasn't.
Hey, you remember the story Misery? You know what happened to that author? When he killed off the character, she was not happy. I don't want anybody upset with me.
Oh man, I know. Broken legs and everything. Yikes.
Yeah, yes. All because he killed the character. Wow.
I didn't do it.
Well, we need to take our second break. And when we come back, we'll talk about things to come.
Yes.
And stand by. Don't go away, guys.
An unforgettable mystery thriller that will transport you back to 17th century England. Introducing Dream of Courage, facing fear head-on, your passport to 17th century mystery, mayhem, and murder. Follow Robert and John Rushworth through Leeds' bustling Brigade District, where danger lurks in the shadows, embodied by the thief-taker Jacob Wilding. You will laugh, you will cry, and be in awe of the twists and turns. Its meticulous attention to character development, emotional nuance, and the unfolding of the story's layers promise a compelling and emotionally charged journey. The U.S. National Times said, "Modern writers usually don't know what it was like to live in the past, but Rushworth Brown does this with great skill." Uncover the secrets of Smythe, the enigmatic tavern keeper who sends Robert to the haven, to the pirate Captain Girlington. Will he outweed danger in the nick of time?
It's 1919, and Eric Laska returns from the war in Europe. Two new enemies await him in the small coal mining town he calls home. One is a threat to his relationship with Rebecca, the love of his life. The other, a bloodthirsty beast, is stalking the mining town residents. The townspeople suspect Eric of one of the killings. An old man and Rebecca's 11-year-old sister have seen the beast, but only Eric believes their story. To protect the town and clear his name, he's forced to prove the werewolf exists. Available on Amazon. The Horror Within by Marjorie Swift Doring.
Paradise, my prison. Charlie Flint awakens from a deep sleep and finds himself alone on a tropical beach surrounded by a palm tree jungle and exotic animals. He cannot remember who he is or anything about his life. First, he must find food and build shelter and protect himself from hidden dangers. As his memory gradually returns, it reveals what a very flawed person he is. A man who made too many mistakes, made too many enemies. The implications of the truth are staggering. How did Charlie get there? And will he save himself? Paradise, My Prison is the riveting new suspense thriller from retired Hollywood scriptwriter George Dismukes. Paradise, My Prison by George Dismukes is available in jacketed hardcover, softcover, and all ebook formats worldwide.
And we're back again.
Yes.
So, Michael, what's coming up in your mind? Have you got anything on the drawing board yet?
Any more dreams?
Yeah, that's every single day. As a matter of fact, I'm working on 2 new stories. It's funny. I've watched Stephen King work on 4 stories at one time, and I was like fascinated that he was able to do that. And I was like, how in the world can he do that? And that's why he prints out so many books out at one time. It's amazing. I was like, how does he do it? Now I know. So I had been able to do that on these 2 books that I was doing. As a matter of fact, I was writing the third, which was the Stevedores. So I was working on 3 stories. And so I was able to finish up with the Stevedores first and ended up putting the other 2 to the side, finished a couple chapters, but now I'm starting to work on them again. And hopefully I'll get them done very soon. I'm hoping that probably late this year or maybe early next year I'll complete either 1 or maybe 2. So
okay. Are any of them going to be, follow-ups to any of your other books, or are these all new?
I don't want to say too much. One of them has nothing to do with the others, and maybe there'll be a follow-up on one of the ones that I have mentioned so far. Don't want to give too much away.
Well, here's Michael's website. It's www.authormichaelsanchez.net, and that's AuthorMichaelSanchez. So if you want to get in touch with him or write to him or find out where all of his social media handles are, that's where you can find them on his website.
Yep. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you.
Yep. Yeah. Authors always like to hear from readers.
Oh, yes. I love that. I love the feedback. Feedback is always good. Helps you with ideas or whatnot. Maybe you want to go a different direction or whatnot. You always want to satisfy the readers, but you can't always satisfy everybody. You just do your best. But feedback is very important, and I ask folks who read my stories to give me some feedback. Do reviews. I always look forward to that.
Yeah. Leave a review. It really helps. It helps people that are looking to read a book, and it helps the author to be able to sell his book to the audience that's out there, because I believe every book has an audience. There's so many people. So
And of course, Amazon is perfect for that. You can always leave a review on Amazon. And again, I look forward to that. And every other author who, puts their heart and soul into these stories, they look forward to that. So they want to hear from the public their point of view on the story.
Yeah, you do put your heart and soul into it. It's a lot of work to write a story. I think maybe people who've never written one don't realize how much goes into it,
Yes, it's and when you see something, a real good review on or people give you a nice feedback, they're paying attention. They like what they see, they like what they're reading, and that helps you, that motivates you, because you put a lot of time and effort in doing this, and every author they're trying to do the best. It's their passion. It's what they want to do, and again, they want to make someone happy. They're sad or whatnot. They'll read the story, make them smile, make them feel good, or they just want to just go out into another world. Take a break from the world they're in now and just use their imagination. All this
Right.
it really helps. And to me, again, just feedback. And I'm willing to answer any questions. I'm not shy about it. I'm open. I'm an open book. I'll let you know. Hey, this is what it is, and ask me. I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
Yeah, I think it's really great too to know that that somebody understood what you were trying to convey.
Right.
I think that's really wonderful. You're like, oh my gosh, they got it. It's like, yay. Joe Conjal said, Michael, what type of marketing do you do for your books?
Well, I use C&J promotions and marketing to do my work for me. Crystal Gauthier, she's awesome. Of course, she's also the owner of Royal Flush Publishing, who did my fourth book. She's awesome. She's got a great team, so I use her and her team to do my marketing promoting. So, and then of course, I try to do my own thing, post my own thing on all the sites on Twitter, Instagram. Of course, you got Facebook and LinkedIn, and YouTube as well. So I try to do my best, but it's difficult for me because I wish I was writing full time. Oh, I would love that. That's all I would love to do is write full time. But unfortunately, I have to work different jobs, so it takes a lot of my time away. But if I could do that, that would be awesome. But Bristol Miles Gauthier and her team, she's awesome, and I'm glad she's there to help me out.
Chris Chrisman says, I'm late and just wanted to say hi.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. We're glad that
Hope
you
you're doing well.
stopped in. Yes, you and your wife both. Yeah, marketing is a bear, isn't it? Do you ever do book signings or book fairs?
So far, I did a book signing, my first and only so far in Walhalla, South Carolina, right near the mountains. Beautiful area. That was my first one. I did that. I believe it was last summer. I believe. And again, it was my first experience doing it, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the feedback, I enjoyed the questions, and it went well for a first time. And I'm looking forward to doing another one again to find a venue. I just need to get to know more authors out here, local authors, and folks that are willing to, allow me.
Local libraries often do book signings and book talks and stuff like that. So that's a good resource, I think.
So I have my wife, who again, she tries to help out and find ways to get me out there, and if I can get some book signings, it would be perfect. I would love that.
Yeah, it is fun. Chris Chrisman says marketing is the hardest part. Ain't that the truth, Chris?
Yeah.
It's a
When-
black hole, man.
When you write the book, you don't realize.
Yeah.
Oh,
It doesn't stop there.
now I
does it?
have to do something to sell it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you gotta sell the product, so you gotta do what it takes to get it out there. Yeah, that is the hardest part. Getting it out there, I mean, to a wider audience, it's hard. But you gotta do it. You gotta do what you can and promote yourself out there the best you can. Word of mouth. Word of mouth is a good way as well. Once the word spreads, it really helps you out as well. But yeah, I'm glad that I have Crystal Miles to help me out with this because I couldn't do it by myself.
Well, I think that being an author, you know, you're all by yourself when you're writing, and you're in your own little world. And then you realize you have to self-promote, and you have to promote your work. And I think that's very difficult for authors to do, because
you have your introverts who
yeah,
don't want to talk to nobody, but you have to open up and do what you can, to spread the word. I've talked to several authors who, unfortunately, they didn't sell a book or whatnot, but I tell them, I say, well, have you posted in different sites and whatnot? Go out there, talk to people. Don't be afraid. Just do what you can. If you need to talk to me, I'll help you out, and come up with ideas, maybe work together to see what we can do. But you gotta go out there and do what you can.
Yeah, and you love your book.
When I go to places, well, even my wife, we'll sit down at a restaurant or whatnot, and we see somebody. Hey, my wife will mention a book or whatnot. Hey, this is an author or whatever. Well, hey, whatever it takes.
Yeah, well, you love your book when you write your book, so you might as well tell people, I think you'd really love it.
That's your baby. That's right. That's your baby. That's your love and joy. You put your heart, your sweat into that, and your soul into it. So yeah, you be passionate. You're proud of what you did. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there really is an audience for every book.
Yes.
There really is, and you just have to find your audience. I think that's one of the most difficult parts, is finding your audience and getting the word out to them.
And that's the thing, like in the genre that I'm in mystery, suspense, thriller, there's just so many authors, in that genre. And I didn't realize that, when I first started. I was like, what? And then once I started research, I was like, oh my goodness, there's a lot of people out there that are writing genre. So you're competing with them as well. But again, you just got to do your thing and just keep pushing it. Keep pushing it, commit to it 100% and go from there.
I think Paul Hollis said there are now 32 million books available on Amazon.
Wow. Yep.
So, you've got 4 books floating around in those 32 million. So you need to do whatever you can to get people to notice your book.
And there's some gems in there. There are some gems, and I'm one like with these movies. As a matter of fact, they're doing a lot of retreads, and it upsets me because there are so many great stories out there to be told in the big screen, and I wish these producers would do that. Would just go out there, see what's being written out there by an unknown writer, author, and because they have something good to offer out there to the audience, and I'm sure they'll love these stories.
They don't have to do the old ones. CW said they aren't all fiction, though. No, they're not all fiction. There's a lot of nonfiction on Amazon, too. Good point.
Yep.
Marjorie Deering said, fun story. The other day I was waiting for an oil change. A woman came in with a book and asked what book I was reading. I said, one of my own. Then we were off to the races.
That's all you have to do. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I gave her the book I had with me. I think I made a friend and maybe a fan. Marjorie, that's so
you did.
cool.
That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so from now on, everybody, carry your book with you to the dentist and to the doctors and to the oil change. And we're going to have oil change on Saturday.
Let's take our books.
Let's take some
I
of
do
our
that. I do
stuff.
that. Yes, I take it with me wherever I go. I'll take 1 or 2. And people, they'll look and they're like, it might pique their interest. What is he reading? And when you tell them, hey, I'm an author, it really gets their attention. Oh, you're an author. How many people can say they have talked to an actual author?
Yeah. Robert White says, create your own fan base.
That's right.
Yes. Joe Conjal said, I like to go into Books A Million and call up my books on the self-help search tablet they have set up and leave it there for the next person to find.
That's a great idea.
That's such a good idea. You can do that. You could do that at Barnes & Noble, too. You could do that. That is
Books A Million would kick you out. If you just kept going back. After every customer, you go in and.
That's a great idea.
It is a great idea. It really is.
Oh, Joe, I like the way you think. Marjorie, too.
We need to end the show. We need to
know.
say goodnight, everybody. But Michael, thank you so much for joining us. And I know there's a lot of people out there now that are looking to go visit Vine Street.
Thank you. You guys have been great, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And shout out to my wife. And again, thank you for the time, and thanks for the folks who listened in. I really appreciate them asking the questions. I enjoyed it.
All the way from Australia.
Yeah.
Australia, yes.
Robert.
Okay, we're going to move you over. Thank you so much for joining us again and sharing with us. And stick around. We'll see you after a while. And we've got Joe Conjo with another great show. Thanks, Michael, and of course, Robin Joan. Thank you, Joe, for joining us also. And Paul, fantastic show. Thanks, Joe, Rob, and Michael. I'm tired. I don't know why.
Okay.
Marjorie says great podcast. Thanks, Paul.
Stop reading.
Your turn.
My turn.
Oh my goodness.
C.W. Haas said, enjoyed the show and meeting Michael. Yes, we did too.
I want to remind everybody to go on to Amazon and check out the Magnolia Bluff Crime Chronicles book series. And they're all on sale here for the next couple of days for 99 cents. And one of them's free. Cindy's is free. So you'll get yourself, it's a good time to jump into the series. There's 23 books in the series right now. There's another one coming out in a couple of weeks. And so now's a good time to get them all at 99 cents. And you've got a whole library of them to read, you know. So
all about the same town.
All about the same town, different authors. It's a great series, if I do say so myself.
It's a great series and it's a great town, but I wouldn't want to live there because too many people get murdered.
Well, once you go in, might not come out the way you expect. So, at any rate, that, and then tune in for Haunted Campfire Tales tomorrow night at 7:30, and WDJY.com also for 99.1 FM in Atlanta for our shows there. And anything else you need to talk about?
No.
Then I guess until next time.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks. See ya.
Live every Wednesday, your Voice of Indie hosts Beam Weeks and Stephen G's welcome authors, musicians, publishing industry pros, artists, and assorted creative guests for an exciting interactive hour. Call in during the show or post questions and comments on Twitter for responses in real time. Meet your favorite indie creators, learn inside tips, network, and promote your work. The link for each week's show is pinned on Twitter atop @VoiceOfIndie. And you can receive the link every Wednesday morning in your inbox by subscribing to our newsletter at freshinkgroup.com. Check out Voice of Indie every Wednesday on Blog Talk Radio and catch hundreds of episodes archived everywhere from our websites to our YouTube channel and Spotify.
Thank you for joining us here on Meet the Author. Make sure you stay up to date with our show by clicking like, follow, and share. And you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and more. See you next time on WLFE-DV.com.